story, Walter McKee walks in and said he needs to talk to me, and I thought he was gonna tell me where we at with the plug factory, which Charlie Frazier wasn't giving me any time to work on. And I walked in, he says, "You're being assigned." I says, "You're being assigned?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "You're getting assigned store manager in Hartford, back to Hartford." So I said, "Okay, he's temporary store manager in Hartford." I go to Hartford. About 2-3 months later, Etsy was in the store visiting me, he was my DD, and I said, "Etsy," he says, "What's going on with me?" He says, "What do you mean?" I said, "Am I a store manager?" He goes, "Well, yeah." I says, "Well, am I still a store, am I permanent store manager?" He goes, "Yeah." He says, "Why?" He says, "Well, they told me I was coming as temporary store manager." He said, "Nobody told you you're a store manager?" He said, "No." So, okay, so that's how I found out I was a store manager. So now I said to myself, "Well, did I get a raise?" He goes, "You should have." Well, my wife back then at the time worked for the bank. Well, I went direct deposit, I never saw it. So I call her up, I says, "Did I ever get a raise?" "Oh yeah, a long time ago." So that's how I became a store manager. So I went and worked on the road, became a store manager. Now my kids were growing up. I was doing the best I can, working Sundays, working whatever I could. We started opening up on Sundays, we started opening up on holidays. The first Thanksgiving, we opened up, I was in Weathersfield. I think, Scotty, you were DD back then, I think. We were one of the first stores to open up. And again, I was doing it all, trying to support my family, pay for my house, pay for my cars. I was still building cars. Like my daughter said, she made a comment about I would come home at night. We always had dinner as a family. I would go out in the garage, and I can tell you true stories. They would come out with their big wheels. I'm out there doing body work, working on my cars, changing engines, whatever. And there's zoom, 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 big wheels all around the garage while I'm working on the cars. And then every weekend, you know, if I could get the time off, I took all my vacations, all my personal days around car shows. I used to take them to one show in New York. I used to take them to Hot Rod Show up in Gloversville, New York. We went there for, probably 12 years in a row. Father's Day weekend,
Yeah.
it was my weekend with my girls. We put them in the back of my Hot Rod, and off we went for the weekend.
Slept in a tent.
Yep.
Everyone's got big old campers, and we were in a tent.
But we had fun. So from there I went to Norwich. I went to Willimantic. I went to Weathersfield, where I met Sherry. So I was in Weathersfield for a while. From Weathersfield, where did I go from Weathersfield? If I wrote it down there. So I worked with Sherry for Weathersfield, then I believe I went to East Hartford. I went back to Norwich, and went back, many stores. East Hartford, back to Norwich, to Windsor, to Newington, 630 for 9 years, where Sue came when we had that power outage. She was sitting out there, we went downstairs, we got a chair, like she says, we got her feet up like 10:30, like Pretty Woman. "Who's ordered pizza?" "We got pizza for her," you know. It was a long night that night. So I went to East Hartford, back to Norwich, to Windsor, to Newington, 630 for 9 years I spent in Newington, which was unusual. You don't usually spend 9 years in a store, so I assumed either I was doing something really right or really wrong. I've been in the same store for 9 years. And then I went back to Vernon. When I went to Vernon, went through a remodel, and I also reconnected with my now wife, Sherry. We had not talked to each other in probably close to 20 years, right? Probably 20 years, we didn't even talk to each other. We reconnected, things were great, and we got married last year. They always grateful for Stop and Shop for bringing us back together, and I thank you for believing in me, and I'm really looking forward to sharing the fall and winter of my life with you. I think at times we take for granted what Stop and Shop provides for us. Most everything I have in life, I go to Stop and Shop. You know, we all feel the stress and pressures every day. Car audits, safety audits, time card audits, passport audits, souvenir audits, audits for audits. And yes, I retired without ever failing a core audit. I'll be proud of that as I leave here. Sometimes we have to remember we choose this job. And when we do, we know what's required to be successful. However, sometimes I step back and think of the responsibility I carry as a store manager. You know, they put me in charge of running a $40 million a year business. I mean, that's incredible, and it makes me very proud to think that they would entrust that kind of volume and business to me. There's CEOs of some corporations out there that don't run that kind of business, not responsible for that kind of volume and that kind of money. And I have to be very humbled that they entrusted me with that much responsibility. Then there's the people that are reporting to you, maybe 150 associates at any given time reporting to you, many different cultures and diversities from all walks of life, young, old. I always believe the best way to manage was to be fair, consistent, and remain structured. I always try to teach my managers to ask yourself what's reasonable. And I think, Tara, you've heard me say that recently, right, Tara?
Yeah.
What do I say? What's reasonable? times you need to take the emotion out of the situation, in order to get a clear view of how to move forward. And it took me a while to change that way of thinking, but it worked. I mean, I grew up old school. I grew up with, I was groomed by Dennis Kasperzak and Artie Bruno, who you guys know. They didn't mince words. If I did what they did on the floor now, I wouldn't be retiring today. I wouldn't know what time ago. But that's how I grew up, and it took me a while to change that way of thinking, but it worked. I think what gave me the most pleasure was seeing individuals get ahead. There was no better way and no better feeling to be able to afford the same opportunity to individuals that was given to me many years ago. I always try to support the stores with new talent, knowing that the future of the company depends upon it. And now as I move into the retired life, I'm looking forward to be able to make use of what Stop and Shop has afforded me in life. Everything I have, I owe to Stop and Shop. I don't have the time to spend with my family, my daughters, and my grandchildren. For it was my family who over the years that did not get the time with me that they should have deserved. We know we take this job, it's demanding. I cannot count how many picnics, holidays, and parties that would show up late because I was working. Thankfully, I see the culture of the company changing, and more effort put into making change and letting you put your family first. Those who've been around a long time, they know years ago, we worked the holidays, we worked the Sundays, we worked the long days, and we got to the picnics at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. We got to the parties late. We missed holidays. We missed, first communions on a Sunday or something we were working. So I'm glad to see that the company's culture is changing, and they're putting in more of an effort, and they're putting the best foot forward to make change and letting you put your family first. So as I say goodbye, let me give many thanks to Stop and Shop for what they provided for me and my family, and also for the amount of friends I've made over the years, because for the people is what I'm really, really, truly gonna miss. So thank you all.